Hi, messy friends. How is everyone? I hope you're all fabulous and having a great Monday. So, I wanted to come on here and continue talking about book launches. I promised a book launch series. The first coffee and chat that I put up live in the Messy Muse group was about book launch boxes. And I'm going to have a little continuation of that. And we're also going to talk today about bookstore events. So tomorrow, Cookie and Milk is finally releasing. Yay! Tomorrow is October 1st, and I feel like I've been preparing and counting down for this release for a very long time. And I feel like I've been talking to everybody about this release for a very long time. And let's just make sure that I'm bright enough here for you guys. So I think that's the point of doing these long, extended sort of marketing for the book launches. Sometimes you feel like as an author, you're just constantly talking about your book, or you're telling people about your book that's coming out, and you kind of get, I don't want to say you get sick of hearing yourself, but you feel like enough, am I talking too much about this book? And I think the answer is no. Because in the end, it's all about marketing, right? And if you're not going to get your book out there, and if you're going to be shy about talking about your book release, then other people are going to be, not going to be able to help you in that process. So it's October 1st tomorrow. And again, I feel like I've been talking about this book release for a very long time. But again, the only way that people are going to know about it is if I talk about it or if my publisher talks about it. So last time I was in the group talking about book launches, we talked about book launch boxes. And what that was is either you or your publisher or both of you were reaching out to other bloggers, other influencers on Instagram or Twitter. And an influencer is somebody with a certain amount of following. So typically, I would say 2,000, if not more, 5,000 followers. Certainly those with 10,000 or above are considered influencers. So for the book launch boxes, if you recall, my publisher had reached out to a bunch of, a lot of influencers, teacher influencers, educator influencers, and to see if they'd be willing to review my book and to post about it. So in exchange, they got copies of the book, they got some swag, and they are going to be posting about my book tomorrow on launch day, and they're also going to give an honest review. The great thing about those book launches and those launch boxes is that tomorrow on launch day, you all should probably see a whole bunch of posts and buzz around Cookie and Milk, which is the point. Right, so just a reminder, those book launch boxes, to the extent that you can do it and you can get influencers, whether it be educators or other authors or librarians, to post about your book, it's helpful, and they should be doing it on your launch day. You want them to do it all on the same day if possible, because then that creates a bigger buzz, right? As opposed to, some tomorrow, some Thursday, some Friday. If everybody's doing it on the same day, it creates a buzz. So that's the book launch boxes. So hopefully you guys will see, I think most of it's going to be happening on Instagram. Perhaps they're posting both Instagram and Twitter, but I know that a lot of it is on Instagram. And even though I prefer Twitter as my social media platform, Instagram really seems like the place where teachers and educators are hanging out. Hi, Lenore. Teachers and educators are hanging out. So tomorrow you should see a whole bunch of posts about Cookie and Milk from those launch boxes. Today I want to talk about the bookstore tour. So I just posted in the My Messy Muse group the calendar for my bookstore tour, the graphic for my bookstore tour. And we probably have, I think there's a Books A Million, there's 2 Barnes & Noble, and there's 2 local New Jersey bookstores where I will be in October and November. a lot of the bookstore events happen on Saturdays. All of my bookstore events happen on Saturdays. If you, if for religious reasons you can't do an event on a Saturday, obviously you will talk to the bookstore about that and do an event on Sundays. Where I live in Bergen County, a lot of the stores are closed on Sundays. We have the blue law, so most of my events, all of my events are happening on Saturdays. Most bookstore events also happen earlier in the morning. So usually a reading. So for the younger children, they'll do readings around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. Some of my events are in the early afternoon. One of the bookstores tried to book an event for 2 o'clock, and I had them change it to an earlier time to start at 12 o'clock. As a parent, I know on Saturday, late afternoons, there's a lot of sporting activities happening, particularly into the evening. My kids have cheer and football, which happens later on in the afternoon. So I find that a lot of parents or grandparents with their kids have a harder time coming for something later on in the evening. So if you're booking for bookstore events, it's better to have it earlier rather than later. So getting these bookstore events, and I'm just going to close my door because somebody just came home. Hold on. I need a little privacy. So getting these bookstore events, what I did, hey Amy, what I did was I literally did a list of every bookstore in New Jersey. So every children's bookstore, and I went on Barnes & Noble and pulled up all the Barnes & Nobles that were within an hour and a half range from where I live. And you have an email that you'll put together. You can do a form email. Obviously, you want to personalize it to the extent that you can before you send it, but you can put together a form email with all of the information regarding your new book, and you're going to send it literally out to all of those bookstores. This is the thing. I have, like I said, 2 Barnes & Nobles, a Books A Million, and two independent bookstores. So that's plenty for me. Right? That's 5 or 6 bookstores, and then I have some other conference events, which we'll talk about on another live Facebook, but it's 5 bookstores. We probably contacted, I don't know, 20, if not more than that. Hi, Debbie. So just know you have to be okay with rejection. So if you're in this industry, you're getting rejected on your manuscripts, you're getting rejected on queries and publishers. You're not going to get every bookstore that you reach out to, and that's perfectly fine. I had a local bookstore that asked me 1,000 questions about me as an author, and then if I can bring in other people, and then I was bringing in other people, and at the end of the day, they said no. And I was like, you know what? It's perfectly fine to not have everybody accept you and bring you on board. So please be mindful of that. You see in my announcement that I got 5 or 6 bookstores. Know that I sent out to at least probably 20, right? So all you need is a good handful. Now, for those bookstore events, again, you're going to try to get them earlier rather than later in the afternoon. So I would say, between 10 and 12 to start. Most events, so I just reached out to Books A Million and said, how long do you want the event to go for? Now, this for me is a little terrifying. They said from 12 to 2, and if that was okay for me. That's certainly fine for me, but I'm just thinking like 2 hours, how long? What if I can't have people, what if people aren't going to be there for 2 hours? What if it gets silent or very slow? I say to you, and just as what I'm going to say to myself, it's fine. You're going to have people coming in and out to the event, and I would say anything from 1 hour goes by very, very quickly. So know that whatever the event is, you're going to read your book and you're going to do a signing. You're going to read the book in the beginning. You're not going to be able to read the book throughout, right? You're going to read the book. You're going to do a signing. I would say an hour is probably going to go by very, very quick. I would recommend maybe an hour and a half. I think 2 hours is a max. I think 2 hours is the max. I'm sure by the end of the 2 hours, things are going to really start to wind down. Okay, so now I have the booklet, the list of my events. I pick one of those bookstore events to be considered my launch party. So what I did is I picked the Books a Million. That's the closest to where I live. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have one of these be my launch party, quote unquote launch party. And I picked the place that's closest to where I live, where my friends and my family are more likely to travel to, because that's where you're really going to market to all of your people in your community to come and make it more of a party. And you're going to put a little bit more, not effort, but definitely going to put a little bit more into it to make it more of a party. So I picked one of those events to be my book launch, and that book launch is going to be at Books a Million, which is in Paramus, which is closer to where I live. Those other bookstores are fabulous. Some of them are an hour and a half away from where I live, so marketing to get people in there is going to be a little bit more difficult for me. And then that's basically it. So I just picked whichever one was closest to me to be considered my launch. What do I plan to do at the book party or at the bookstores? So I think it's important for it to be a little bit more fun and snazzy. So I plan on, obviously I'm going to have my books there, and we're going to be doing a signing. I plan on having cookies, so I'm going to have prepackaged cookies. I thought long and hard about those beautiful cookies with the book cover on it, those fancy personalized cookies. I really would have loved to have gotten them, but quite honest, not only are they expensive, it's probably like $1 or $2 a cookie, but it's just, it's more difficult, right? It's just more planning, more expensive, more difficult. And in the end, kids, thanks, Debbie, kids really don't care. Honestly, my kids don't really want a fancy cookie. They would much prefer Chips Ahoy or an Oreo. And also as a parent, when I go to these events, I'd rather give my kids something that's prepackaged than something that's open and lying out. And I'm not like crazy about the hygiene stuff like that, but so anyway, I'm going for prepackaged cookies that I'm bringing to the event. I'm going to bring swag that I bought from Oriental Trading Company. So you have to pre-prepare that. So that has been ordered months ago. I saw these cute smart cookie pencils with like a little cookie eraser. I should have brought one here to show you guys. Sorry. So I will bring those to the event. I ordered a whole bunch of other swag too as I see sales. So I told you guys that I am, thanks Janet, I told you guys that I am addicted to Sticker Mule. If you order from Sticker Mule once, you'll get a whole bunch of coupons for later on. It's expensive. The first order is expensive. So like I have these fantastic, awesome stickers. This is Milk. Yay! That I did. Where's the light? So I'm going to save. I'm not going to bring every piece of swag that I've ever ordered to my bookstore events. I've done that before. I think it's completely overkill because this is what happens. And I don't want to sound cheap, but this stuff isn't cheap. And if you just keep on giving it away, you're just going to have to keep on ordering more. What I've done before is I've brought every piece of swag. I brought pencils, I brought stickers, I brought whatever, kazoos or whatever toys that I had that went along with my books to my event. People buy a book. They'll buy one book, which is fantastic. You love the support. And then the kids take everything, which of course they do. I would too. I actually do when I go to other book fairs. My kids take everything. They'll take a bookmark, they'll take a sticker, and they'll take the pencil. They take it all, right? And then what? And then you have another event, you have to buy it all over again. So I say bring one swag to each event and give that one swag out. So for my launch party, it's going to be the pencils. I also bought these cute erasers that are little skateboard erasers. And then I have these stickers that I'll give out. So I'm going to bring one swag to each event. One swag to each event. Cookies to give away, prepackaged. I can get them at Costco or BJ's, super cheap. I'm keeping it simple. I was going to bring little milk containers because I'm crazy. I needed a cookie and I needed milk. But guess what? If I brought the little milk containers, I need to then have a cooler and ice. And who wants to get milk from a stranger? So I put the kibosh on that. So prepackaged cookies and swag and coloring pages. I think it's important for kids to have something interactive and active to do, especially, God willing, if there's a line, which would be lovely. That way they can, so crayons and coloring pages. So these are the things that I plan on bringing to my bookstore events. I also wouldn't get crazy on having to be very creative during these bookstore events. So during my school visits, I do creative activities and something that's interactive and crafts or writing prompts, right? And sometimes you think, wow, I have to be super entertaining. People are coming to see me at these bookstores. Frankly, kids really just enjoy seeing the author, talking to the author, having that interaction, and then having something small. They love freebies, the goodies, and having something small to do. So sometimes keep it simple, stupid. I keep on saying in my head because I'm one that could go crazy with things. So that's it. That's what I'm going to do. So again, bookstores, you don't need a lot. In fact, I'm already exhausted thinking about the 6 that I have to do and doing that form email and then just doing a follow-up. Also, once the bookstores agree to have you, they are going to want you to promote. Obviously, they want you to try to bring people into those events. I posted in the group the graphic that my publisher put together that has all of the bookstores and the book tour. What I also did, and I will post this in the group later on tomorrow or later on in the week, I also did an individual graphic for each event. So what I'm going to do, and I made it a little bit crazy, and you guys can let me know when I post it if you think it's too crazy, because I can always comment down a little bit. But I wanted to make it more fun and excited for kids. And the graphic is going to say, you're invited, and it's going to have the specific event. And I think it's important for marketing to specific events. So like I said, the Books A Million will be for my immediate community, and then all the other ones I plan on doing a specific graphic for that specific event and sending it out to whatever the local community to get people to come to that event. The way to do these graphics, by the way, guys, it's so simple. Canva is such an amazing resource. It's free. You go to canva.com, canva.com. I don't pay for anything extra. I never pay for anything extra. And fiddle in Canva. It's very easy to, sometimes in the beginning it was a little difficult to use, but once you start using it and experimenting with it, it is a really great resource. And that's where I do all of my graphics. That's where I do all my graphics for Messy Muse, and I'll do all my graphics for the book tour. Finally, once I get the graphic done, I will print something out. I will print out postcards for my book launch that I'm marketing within my local community. All the other ones I will send use on social media and really promote that on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And I will probably go to local community pages. I might, if there's a PTA or something that you can send it to promote, that's great. So everything online. But for the book launch and for the one that you want your community and your friends and your family to come to, I am going to have postcards printed out. And those postcards I like to get at Uprinting is very inexpensive and the quality is perfect. So I'll do a one-sided postcard. You don't need 2 sides because you're not mailing it, right? So you'll do a one-sided postcard, and I'll do the cheapest the cheapest one that they have. I think it's like 100 for $20. And that way I can send it out to my cheerleaders or my cheer coach. I can give it to the Girl Scouts or Brownie leaders to maybe hand out to the girls. I can post it in the schools. I can put it in my local library. Again, just having something tangible that's an invitation that says you're invited to hand out, because it's a really good takeaway, and people they're more excited. They feel like they're actually being invited by the author to an event, which they are. So that's it. So this is part 2 of book launching. Part 1 was the launch boxes. Now we're talking about the bookstore tour. You saw the graphic. Tomorrow it comes out. Cookie Milk comes out. So hopefully you'll see some effects from all of the launch work that we've done. And that's it. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining Lenore, Amy, Debbie, and Janet. It's been fantastic. And see you guys soon. Bye.